Check. Microphone check, microphone check. Microphone check. Check, check, check. Cool. We both be better. Brandon from KC28. Good morning, first and foremost. Are you on steroid? I'm on testosterone replacement therapy, and I have been since 2012. Luis Gonzalez says, I'm glad to see you're in shape and happy. Thanks, Luis. Definitely in shape. Definitely working on contentment, working on being as happy as I can. How are you boys this morning? How are you guys? Chris Davis says, do you like video games? I mean, when I was a kid, I loved video games. Like, loved video games. And I always tell myself as an adult, I want to enjoy video games, but I end up not playing them. So I respect video games. I just don't play them. Brandon from KC says, is your garage finished? No, it's not finished. It's not insulated, but it is decked out as far as workout equipment goes, but not finished. Chris says, have you been to Texas? I have been to Austin one time for a conference with my dad, actually on hormone replacement therapy and fasting, intermittent fasting, extended fasting, prolonged fasting. So I've been to Texas in that capacity, and I got to explore Austin for just a second, but I haven't really spent time there and hung out there. Brandon says, have you tried Kratom? I have not. Definitely have not. Chris says, what kind of movies do you like? Oh, I suppose just about anything. Thriller, suspense movies. I definitely have a spot in my heart for just action, old school action in particular. I definitely enjoy that. Horror movies, if it's the right mood, it's the right time. Raunchy comedies are always good as well. And then once in a blue moon, I like to just get my heartstrings ripped out and watch a really sad, dramatic movie. Chris Milano says, hey brother, I've been watching you for years. I'm on TRT as well. How are you feeling currently mentally? I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, life is always changing and evolving, and just like I'm sure yours is, I'm experiencing new things. I'm adapting to new things, challenging thoughts, embracing new fears, stuff like that. I would say though, mentally, generally speaking, I'm wonderful. I'm absolutely wonderful. It's just life doesn't come without its challenges, that's for sure. Physically, I feel really well also. Brandon from KC says, if you have an addictive personality, don't try Kratom. Yeah, I'll never try Kratom. I know about it. I don't really know what it is, so to speak, but I've heard about it, and I don't have any interest in trying it. Brandon says, what happens when you stop taking TRT? Well, if I stop taking my hormone replacement therapy after being on it for 8 or 9 years, then I'm assuming my hormones would crash. I am dependent on my replacement therapy. I'm grateful for that replacement therapy. I was dangerously low when they discovered my hypogonadism. So much like I imagine a diabetic with insulin, if a diabetic doesn't take the insulin that they need for their medical condition, then yeah, it will have a deleterious effect on their mental and physical well-being. So I wouldn't be doing well. Lynn VBD says, any advice on health-related anxiety? Man, all I can say is that I've experienced it, and I think one of the biggest things that has caused me to, or helped me find relief for my health-based anxiety is to take really good care of myself. like take really good care of myself. One of the biggest issues I had as a drinker was this fear that I was going to get gastritis or pancreatitis or diverculitis, something like that. I was always thinking something terrible is going to happen to my body, but I couldn't stop drinking. So as soon as I addressed the alcoholism for me, for example, and started learning how to take care of myself consistently, then that was really helpful and very soothing. I also have certain rules, right? Like if I'm worried about something or I have like a symptom that I think could be XYZ, then I stick to a pretty strict rule set as to how I research it and how I ingest information on it. A little bit of research, okay. Excessive research on Google, for example, or YouTube, not okay. Not good for my mental health. So I start there. Reality testing the fears is good with other people too. I think just talk about it in general. Chris Davis says, who's your favorite singer? Man, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Who is my favorite singer? Probably Luke Combs right now. Chris Milano says, good to hear, brother. Hell yeah. Brandon from Casey's says, well, at least you're honest and not in denial. Yeah, of course not. I mean, yeah, of course. There's nothing to deny. I've been open about my my TRT issues since I started this channel. I was in a treatment-resistant depression. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Found out I had low T, started addressing it, and things got better. So it's a gift, and it's a tool for my wellness, that's for sure. Ayman Khalik says, is anxiety a mental illness? I think so. I think so. I think having anxiety in general is a human experience. I think living in perpetual and chronic anxiety, untreated anxiety, that leads to other things, I think that's when it can slip into a mental illness. Chris Davis says, did you take the COVID vaccine? No, I did not. Brandon from KC28 says, you remind me of the Better Ideas guy. I don't even know who that is, but hopefully he's a solid dude. Anish says, yes, it's a mental illness. Lenny VDB says, thank you for sharing. Of course, thank you for being here. Anish says, but if it's actually a disorder, then I'm starting med school in January. Good for you. Ryan Drennan says, you a roller coaster. What is the good? You're a roller coaster. What is the good or bad? I don't exactly know what you mean by that. Are you just asking me what's good or what's bad in my life? Death Shaker says, heart. Back at you. Colbean Gotti says, hi. Hey, how are you? Chris says, how's OnlyFans doing? It's doing really well. Coming up on 200 supporters and fans on OnlyFans. Getting a rhythm, getting to know people on there, finding my comfort zone, trying new things, navigating it very openly with my wife. She is the boundary holder for my OnlyFans, so she decides what content goes out and what doesn't go out, which has been fun, something we actually got been enjoying together. And it's been good. It's been a cool experience. Mackenzie B says, tell me your arm measurements, you stud. I'm going to guess that like my right arm is probably maybe a 17. I'm honestly not sure. It's a good question. I'd have to go get a measurement or a tape measure, and I don't even think I have one. They're solid. My arms are okay. Brandon from KC says, how much can you bench? 3 sets of 10. 3 sets of 10 right now. I think I could hit probably 275 for 3 sets of 10, if I had to guess. Colby says, good you. Thank you. Johnny says, hey, Noah, looking good, man. I'm glad you're doing fine. My question is, my question is that where do you see you and your channel in 5 years or so? You know, that's a really interesting question, Johnny. My channel is in transition. It has been since I impulsively started making different types of content on here. I started posting about this interest I had in exploring different revenue stream, different business venture with OnlyFans. And it stirred things up on here, and it stirred things up for me as well. One thing I do know, guys, about this channel, for the few people that are here, I don't know how many people are rolling with me right now. Got like 25 of us or so. I know I don't want to just make the same content I've been making now and forevermore. I don't want to ever abandon the roots of this channel. I don't want to abandon anything that's important for me to talk about. such as mental health, obviously, or addiction or TRT. I think the future of this channel is no longer curating my content specifically for what I think people want to hear from me. I'm giving myself permission to make mistakes. I'm giving myself permission to try new things. I'm giving myself permission to embrace every part of me on this channel and not simply stay into this mold that I've created for myself. So if I want to talk about something outside of the scope of what I usually do, I'm going to. And if I want to experiment with new content, I will. And I also have to accept the consequences of that. I think some people will be okay with it. I think some people won't like that, and they'll think rather that it's not what they subscribe for. So I hold space for everyone to sort of stay with me on this journey and get to know me in all the ways that I really am. And also to head off if they're just like not feeling it. I fully understand. I really do. Let's see, where are we? Chris Davis says, how much money are you making? Right now, I'm going to make a video on YouTube about this, but as of right now, I've made, actually maybe I should save that for a video. I'm going to save that for a YouTube video. But if you want to do the math, no, I'm going to save that for music video. Plenty though, I'm making plenty of money, but I think I'll wait on that. Trooper FN2525 says, nice. Mackenzie B says, is the beach over there? You're hilarious. Makes me think of Chris Farley. That's great. Brandon from KC says, incoming meathead questions. Hey, they're just questions. I mean, I'm a gym rat. I live in the gym. I love hearing about stuff like that. So all heads welcome. Nerdy heads, meatheads, dorky heads, all heads. Everyone can be here. Lenny VBD says, do you plan on taking the vaccine at some point? I do not. I'm going to exercise my right to not take that medical procedure. It's gonna be where I stay on that one. But I support anyone who wants to take it, and I support those who want to exercise their freedoms to not take a medical procedure as well. I'm very much about individual freedoms and bodily autonomy. It's very important to me. And a lot of you might not know this, but I'm someone who has been injured by a vaccine before. I guess it's not technically a vaccine, but the VIVITROL injection that I took that started this channel, I had an adverse reaction to an injection. Very dangerous one. So I know that side effects can happen, and I understand that there are risks and potential benefits to any procedure that you partake in. And I know this is a divisive topic. But for me, I will be steering clear of that for sure, no matter what. Colbein Gotti says, I saw you had a little difficult reading my name. It's because I'm from Iceland and my name is it from Icelandic. Gotcha. If you would be willing to phonetically spell that out for me, I would love to try to pronounce it better. AM says, do you do time restricted eating? Absolutely. So my typical day of eating is like 2 meals, fairly big in like a 6-hour window. I plan on doing a 24 or 36-hour fast today because yesterday I just wanted to gorge. I wanted to feast. I think I probably consumed upwards 6,000-7,000 calories yesterday, and it was really good. Mentally, I wanted it. Emotionally, I was eating, and physically, I could tell my body just wanted to restore. So today is a day of rest, and I will attempt to fast for 24, 36 hours. Big proponent of fasting from in a number of ways, right? Like I really believe everyone should get familiar and at least understand the tool of fasting, extended, prolonged, time restricted, all that stuff. It's really powerful for mental wellness. It's really powerful for productivity. It's really powerful for detoxification. And it's really great, of course, for weight loss and weight management. I love it. Where are we? Colbein Gotti says, I'm from Iceland and I saw you had some difficulties. Oh. Brandon from KC says, do not take any vaccine ever. There you go. Anish says, are you a vegetarian? No, I'm going to try to eat as many vegetables as I can. Ryan Drennan says, do you think we all live with mental health problems, or we are just experiencing life. I think we are all experiencing mental distress sometimes. I think life comes with ups and downs, with sadness, with anxieties, with worries, with confusions, things like that, with fears. I do think that some people do experience mental health problems in ways that are far more dangerous, far more debilitating than other people. So I think the spectrum, the gambit of human experience and emotion does include all emotions. I do also believe that some people with conditions, with disorders, or with poor coping skills, they can get lost in those spaces for dangerous amounts of time. It can progress to something far more real and serious than the ebbs and flows of life. Anish says, who are you and what do you do? I just happened to find this live video. Who am I and what do I happen to do? Well, I am a great many things. My name is Noah. I make videos about my life and about things that interest me. I'm a sober person. I'm a husband. I'm a wandering kid of this universe. I'm an athlete. I'm a creator. I'm someone who deals with anxiety and stress sometimes. I'm a lot of different things, but I'm a worthwhile person first and foremost. Anish says, who are you? Oh, we got that. Mike Duval says, good morning from Ottawa, Canada. Hey. Looking great as always. I hope you keep on doing what makes you happy. I appreciate that, Mike. That is my intention going forward, that's for sure. Just I want to do the things that make me happy. I want to be free to be myself in whatever ways that I am and not live in fear anymore of other people or places and things. Mike Duvall, or Brandon says, you should stock up on TRT supplements in case society collapses. That is an interesting thing to say. If I get the inkling that society is going to collapse, maybe I will. That's an interesting comment. Anish says, Brandon, why not take the vaccine? Why so anti-vaccine? Brandon from KC says, because you don't need it. May I ask why? Okay, you guys just going back and forth. Anish says, may I ask why you don't want to? Janice says, as long as wear a mask when in enclosed areas, I respect your choice, for sure. Yeah, I respect mandates, mask mandates. I won't go into a mask that requires that you have the vaccine. I won't go into a store that requires that you have the vaccine to enter without wearing a mask. So I'm not belligerent about my freedom of choice. I'll honor personal businesses and private establishments' right to decide if they feel comfortable with people who are choosing not to get the vaccine. I'll play by those rules for sure. Brandon says, please don't even get into the vaccine debate. People are crazy on this topic. I know. Colby says, bye. Brandon says, do you like energy drinks? If so, what type? No, I'm not a huge energy drink guy. I do like Fit Aid, like fitness recovery drinks. Has a little bit of caffeine, lots of electrolytes, stuff like that. Brandon says, do you want kids? I don't know, man. The kids thing comes and goes in my head. We'll have to see. I truly couldn't tell you right now what's going on with that. Samantha says, I have lived with DPDR since I was 13. It started marijuana-induced, very common, unfortunately. I suffer from depression, anxiety, PTSD. I'm 230, 5'7". Please tell me where to start in weight loss. Samantha, thank you for being brave enough to share all that about yourself. That's difficult, of course. It's very difficult. And I think I'm just going to share what's been impactful for me, which is to read a book called Eat, Stop, Eat by Brad Pylon. Check that out. Just look into fasting, The Ultimate Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung. I think it's the most powerful and simple tool that any of us could possibly learn about, become familiar with, and then exercise in our lives. And otherwise, just keep talking, keep being kind to yourself, keep trying new things. What may work for me might not work for you, but I'm a firm believer that if you just keep questing, if you keep looking for answers and potential solutions to the things you're experiencing and the things that trouble you, you'll find them, assuming you don't ever give up. So hang in there, Samantha. Naomi says, I just got a new job as a social worker. Good for you. Very important work. At the hospital that works with addiction services, and truly my dreams are being realized as I am heading into 4 years sober and will stay this way for life. That's wonderful. Congratulations on your sobriety. Congratulations on your new job. I know that when I have spent time in the hospital for mental illness, among other things, social workers were an incredibly powerful and important part of my experience. So I have so much respect for what you're doing. Chris Davis says, I remember you did that calorie challenge. You puke a lot. Yeah, dude, the calorie challenge was so hard. I am not designed to eat that much, that's for sure. I thought it would be fun. It wasn't. It was just difficult. All right, Samantha says, Noah, you are my idol. Uh-oh. I keep trying to have my brother watch your videos. He's 34, an alcoholic, and depressed. I think his pride is stopping him from opening up. Appreciate the kindness. I'll be rooting for you and your brother. Addiction is so hard. Life is so scary sometimes. And a lot of us live in our heads, maybe more so now than ever. So it's hard to open up. It's hard to be honest about what you're thinking and what you're experiencing. I'm a big advocate of it, though. That's for sure. Anish says, I'll let the debate go. Cheers. Good for you. Jay Charm says, happy Sunday, fun day, everyone. Heyo. Brandon from KC says, Mary Jane does not induce anything other than laughing, eating, and new perspective and deeper thinking. I'm going to have to strongly disagree with you. So Brandon doesn't think that there can be negative consequences to smoking weed, and there can. There's a condition known as depersonalization, derealization disorder, which is essentially getting stuck in a dissociated, detached from your body, dreamlike state, Brandon. Many people smoke weed, have a panic attack while they're smoking it, and they get thrown into this dangerous condition, sometimes for months, can even go into years. It's extremely common. A lot of people don't seem to know that this is a thing, and it's something that we should all be mindful of when we're ingesting any drugs or alcohol. There, of course, can be upsides to weed, and I understand that some people can smoke weed for life and do just fine, but there are some people that it is not good for them. There are some people that it does disrupt their well-being, and there certainly are people that wind up in a depersonalized state. As someone who's had DPDR from a paradoxical reaction to a medication and then had other people reach out to me all throughout the world about their weed-induced depersonalization disorder, I can tell you firsthand, it can be a life-changing, threatening thing for some people. So, obviously, weed smokers should enjoy their weed, but let's not be in denial that there can be negative consequences. Luke McInnes says, total testosterone 277 nanograms per deciliter. My doctor is not willing to prescribe me TRT as I'm in the normal range. Lift 3 times a week. I feel like crap often. Any advice for improving my day-to-day life? I mean, geez, look, you're eligible as far as total. I don't know what your free is like. I know that anyone in this modern toxic world, male or female, if you are struggling with your mental health, if you're struggling with your hormone profile, and you think you've done everything you can within your power to control that, I think it's well within your rights to go get help and to go find someone who's going to support you in your wants. So if your doctor won't do it, find a doctor that will, or at least find a doctor that will consider it. Otherwise, what are the things that really impact sleep or hormone profiles? Sleep, diet, stress management, compound lifting and exercise like you do, rest and recovery, things like that. Brandon says, if you smoke weed and you're paranoid, that's a good thing. It pulls back the blinders on stuff you should address but didn't know you had to. Anish says, yes, I know Jason Fung. He's a nephrologist in Toronto, if I have not mistaken. Yeah, he's good. Rasmus says, hey, Noah, good to see you. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Thank you. I hope you're well. Johnny B says, question, are you familiar with Jordan Peterson's work? Absolutely. I've learned a lot from Jordan Peterson. It helped me a lot, along with your channel, of course, to get off from addictive and started working out and getting my shit finally together. Good. Yeah, he's been a positive influence in my life as well. Brandon says, if you are dissociated after smoking, go for a fun exercise. I think people in general give up too easy. You are right, though. Everyone's different. Yeah, so Brandon, I wonder if you're not familiar with what I'm really talking about when I talk about depersonalization, derealization. It's not a passive thing. It's not something that I'm a little dissociated today and you experience. It is a really dangerous, stressful, highly debilitating mental condition that you can't just snap out of. It can take an extremely long time to come out of it if you're truly in it. So it's not a passive, I'm foggy today sort of experience. It's one of those things that can lead people to suicidal thoughts and behaviors instantly. So it's maybe a little more serious than I think you realize. 82 bucks says, hi Noah, what's up, dude? Brandon from KC says, what are your plans for today? Well, I wanted to do this, get a live stream out and just spend a little time with you guys, which is good. I'm I got some other work done this morning, which has been good. I'd like to get some chores done, spend some time outside, maybe go for a hike. Just have my best possible day. Thank you for asking. Janice says, when you were in rehab, you asked viewers what we would like to see in your channel. I suggested cooking videos and showing some of Portland by going on walks in the parks. What do you think? I don't think I want to show you guys Portland. I don't have any. Oh, hi, Janice. Sorry. Thank you for your comment. I think cooking videos I could be interested in. I'll put that back on my radar. I think that more plays into what I'm interested in, which is sharing those bits of my life. Exploring Portland, there's plenty of videos on Portland, and I don't think I'll put any of my energy into showing you that. But I definitely will look into the cooking thing. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate you bringing that up to me. Glenn Harley says, hi Noah, I heard and followed your advice on routine and found it to be very helpful in dealing with downtimes as well as increasing efficiency and effectiveness in normal times. Thank you. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. The Killa89 says, wanted to thank you. After discovering your channel and journey, I got my T levels checked. Had been suffering with depression and suicidality. Got diagnosed, and now a year into TRT have saved my life. It's amazing. I'm really glad you shared that. I'm glad you're doing a bit better. Yeah, if you guys are watching this and you've never checked your hormones, you should. If you struggle with anything that would lead you to think, what could I do to make this better? Physically, get out of here, fly. Physically, mentally, or emotionally. Chris Fick says, I want to thank you. I've been struggling with alcohol addiction. As of right now, I've been sober and mentally stable. Good. Your videos had a big impact on my life. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Anish says, have you heard about testosterone? I have not. Photomorty says, hi Noah and chat. I've been self-administering TRT for about 3 months now, 150 a week. You think the reason I start feeling worse, social anxiety-wise, confidence-wise, is E2 related? I couldn't even tell you. I think you would have to get your E2 checked to know that. I think it's very important for everyone who's on, get out of here, FLA, for everyone who's on TRT to be mindful that it's just a tool. Addressing a hormone issue is important and it's worthy and it's valid, but it's not going to cure social anxiety. It's not going to improve self-esteem, so to speak. It's not going to be a fix-all for addiction. It certainly will not fix all your bodily issues if you happen to be overweight. It's just a tool. And if it's used appropriately and safely and consistently in conjunction with what I think are a lot of different things that can help anyone feel good, then yeah, it can be really great. But sure, if you want to find out what your E2 is, you should. Brandon says, when it comes to fitness channels, do you watch any of them? Have you ever watched Elliot Hulse? I used to watch Elliot Hulse long time ago. Otherwise, no, I don't follow any fitness channels on YouTube. There was a time when I was really into them and I watched some Christian Guzman or Steve Cook or Max Tuning back in the day. Who else did I used to watch? Physiques of Greatness, Omar Yusof, yeah, Johnny Candido. I used to watch a lot of those guys. Nick Evo says, what's your opinion on porn? I think porn is one of those things that if it's done in moderation and it's not done for the wrong reasons, i.e. you're not trying to specifically escape anything and you're aware of the potential pitfalls of pornography and your own proclivity for escapism or anything like that, then yeah, I think some porn use can be just fine in your life. It just depends on motivations, frequency, intentions, things like that. Brandon Wong says, I'm doing leg presses as I watch your live stream. Any ideas of the rep range for the middle-aged lifter, 55 plus? I think it just depends on your goals. If you are looking to build just raw, pure strength, then I think the 4 to 8 rep range is great, just focused on full range of motion, maximum output, right? If you're looking for more hypertrophy and size, and you want to maximize time under tension, maybe increase your likelihood of burning more calories, stick to the 10 to 15 range and really see how much time you can stay and keep burning. More likely to get volume in your muscle that way too. Photo Morty says, yeah, I get blood work soon. Good for you. Brandon from KC says, well, you seem to be in good spirits, good vibes. Hope you have a good day, man. I appreciate you being so engaged. I hope you have a good day as well, dude. Glenn Roberts says, would you rather own a horse the size of a cat or a cat the size of a horse? I definitely rather own a horse the size of a cat. And I really like that question. Photo Morty says, true, I've always been a rather insecure guy, so it's going to be hard to ever break out of it. You can break out of it, though. I have to put in the work. Correct. Absolutely. I think we can influence some of our natural tendencies pretty effectively with effort and consistency. Got to practice. Linda Vall says, do you think a person's faith has any power in their recovery? Of course. Yeah, absolutely. I think faith can play a really positive role in recovery, a really positive role in friendships, relationships, personal goals, sense of wellness, stress relief. Absolutely. Me and G says, hi from Abu Dhabi. Wow, that's wild. Hello, welcome. Anish says, you should make a video about testosterone. It's a hormone that mimics testosterone found in insects. I will leave that to a more qualified person, Anish, but I think that's an interesting idea. Rasmus says, how are you dealing with all the drama having OnlyFans account brought you, especially approval seeking? Yeah, Rasmus, it's been a process for me. I've been talking to people about how, so I started this OnlyFans where I make low-level adult entertainment for people. Basically, I share my body in a more provocative way with anyone who wants to pay and support me on my OnlyFans. I think it's actually very interesting. I think it's been very fun. And I'm enjoying it, quite frankly. I'm enjoying it. It's cool. But it has led to a lot of drama on my channel. God damn, this fly is driving me absolutely crazy. And that's different. I'm not used to people being so negative on here. I'm not used to people being so volatile on here. And I've had to adjust a bit to that. I've had to really remind myself who I live for, what's important to me, whose approval I seek, how I validate my own thoughts and wants and emotions, whose concerns for me that I take really personal, how I curate my life, all these things. It's brought up a lot of things for me to explore, and I want to explore a lot of them with you on here, but I'm departing from the days where I want or need you guys to say or think anything for me to be okay. There was a time when I would post content and your guys' response was very important to me, and you guys are still important to me, and I'm very grateful for this platform. However, whether you guys say uplifting, kind, wonderful things in that respect, or aggressive, negative, perhaps thoughtless, hateful things to me, I have to remove my authentic self from that, or I have to remove my sense of wellness from it. So it's brought up some stuff, and I'm working through it and doing my best to be patient and all that. Me, Angie, says, we love you and your father. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. Vagabond says, no, what's good? I've been working volunteer at a music festival and met a lot of really cool people. I bet you have. Good for you. Miguel Garcia says, how you work with your motivation. Find ways to stay motivated all the time. Work out, not eating bad, etc. Yeah, I love this question. I love the topic of motivation. And my experience with motivation has been very interesting, right? Like, I'm less interested in motivation, and I'm a lot more interested in consistency and rituals and patterns and habits that push me towards things that I say are important to me. So I am not always motivated to work out. I'm not always motivated to eat healthy. I'm not always motivated, inspired, and enthused in general. But my why is pretty clear on most things. I've learned enough about the things I think are important to me to be excited by them in principle. And then I've gotten used to a lifestyle and certain habits that have been helpful in getting me towards those things. So like brushing your teeth might be so habitual and so ritualistic. For me, exercising is the same way. Fasting is the same way. Being a content creator is the same way. Trying to eat in a way that supports my goals, it's just now ingrained in me. So whether I feel like it or not, it's what happens because I'm so used to it. That makes sense. And I suppose the only other thing I would add to that is that if you want to get better at following through with the things that you say are important to you, then pick the path of least resistance as far as building habits and rituals that support your goals. And that can be, my favorite example is like if you say it's important to you to lose weight, maybe the first thing you do is get used to drinking 2 glasses of water every morning, and then you leave it at that, right, until that habit becomes ingrained in you. Slowly add on things that are going to lead you towards your goals. Get used to the things that you say are important to you becoming a normal part of your life. And before you know it, you're just living in a way that's very congruent with your goals. Rama Asa says, hi, what's going on? Lee Steele says, hello, hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. I love that, thank you, I hope you are too. Rasmus A says, what's your thoughts on volume method? I'm not sure I know what volume method is, my friend. Can you be more specific? Deathshaker 00 says, I have bipolar 2 and low T. I have learned how to cope without medication and T. I have been 8 years like this. Good for you. If you found a way that works for you for living, I think that's wonderful. Good for you. And thank you for sharing. 82 bucks says, how about a full day of eating? Yeah, that's on my radar. I'll try to get that done this week. So many people ask for that, and I should do that. I think that's a great idea. Emily Berry says, hi. Hi, Emily. Slurp Nasty says, what's the least healthy thing you eat? Last night I had donuts, ice cream, Chinese food, cheesecake, burgers, and fries. I had all of that last night. We went on this epic food journey, my wife and I, where we went to all these different restaurants that we called into, ordered like essentially one thing from each restaurant, and then we just enjoyed. Sometimes we do that on a Saturday, and it was delightful. It was fucking awesome. 82 bucks says, I've been watching you for 7 years. Wow, you've helped me so much. I would love to have coffee with you someday. Yeah, I would love to do a meetup with people someday in general. I've always thought that would be really cool. And thank you for your long-term support. That's pretty special. Janice Lawrence says, do you have any pets? Somehow I think you may have a cat. No cats, but I have 2 dogs. Brandon from KC says, what type of cars are you into? What's your dream car? I'm into sports cars. I'm into really nice luxury sedans as well. I think I'm actually starting to get into SUVs a little bit. I don't really know what I think a dream car for me right now would be a really nice Corvette. I think that would be really fun. Dream car? I don't think I've explored it enough. I kind of wonder about Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Bentleys and things like that, but I'm not much of a car guy. I'm just someone who's starting to get interested in cars, so I'd have to get back to you. I can't be particularly creative with that answer. Brandon from KC says, do you think embracing adversity is the key to personal growth? If so, why? Brandon's just on it with these questions. On it. Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think embracing adversity is really important. Like my starting the OnlyFans page, seeing it take off and do so well, learning about myself and that experience, seeing how some people on here have been upset, people are unsubscribing, it's giving me a lot of opportunity to reflect, and it's giving me a lot of opportunity to challenge my thoughts and belief systems on a lot of things. So I think not inherently running away from things that make you nervous is good. I think running towards things that make you nervous for the sake of running towards things that make you nervous might be a problem. So like most things in life, I'm trying to just be mindful of my intentions, my motivations, my thoughts, my reasons, stuff like that. But yes, one thing is for sure, getting outside of my comfort zone has been very fundamental for me being successful in the ways that I have. It's more about me trying to make sure that I'm not being risky in this pursuit of being okay, being uncomfortable, and trying new things. When I first started YouTube, I had a handful of people being like, what are you doing? I saw the value in starting YouTube before there was any sense of value in it. And now it covers my life expenses. It's a career. And I'm kind of trying to treat the OnlyFans thing the same way. Like I'm getting some pushback on here, and I'm getting a little bit of pushback in my regular life, but no one's living my life. No one's in my head. No one has my thoughts. No one is having my same exact experience, right? So I have to make sure that I'm not just out of fear denying myself curiosities or wonders or opportunities. I think I have the capacity to treat potentially special things, lucrative things with tremendous professionalism. It's something I know I'm capable of. It's why I've been able to make a career on YouTube. So I do take feedback, and I think it's important, but I'm also one of those people that understands the value in trusting yourself, especially if you've earned that trust. I sort of went off on a side note there, but it's just what's on my mind. Shenmuk, oh, forgive me. Shenmuk says, how's HCG treatment working? I'm not on HCG. I haven't started that before. Talked about it lots. Ordered it twice. Actually executed and started HCG. I haven't done it. Okay. Gloria Young says, hello, Noah. Hey, Gloria. Lee Steele says, I suffer from social anxiety and gender anxiety. Interesting. Can you share more about what gender anxiety is? I would love to learn from you. I know social anxiety fairly well. I understand that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Emily Berry says, if you could change one habit, what would it be? Oh boy, you guys are bringing the heat. That's a great question. A habit of mine that I would change. I would probably change the frequency at which I check my social media. As someone who makes a living on social media, sometimes I justify it in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm working, so I should be on here. This is important. But it's not always the case. Sometimes I am, of course, but sometimes I imagine doing what I've learned about, and a lot of us have, which is just dopamine seeking, scrolling through Instagram to find something I like, double tapping, kind of flying through YouTube, stuff like that. I would like to be more mindful about how I use my phone. Gora fixes. Did you notice any kind of penile growth after years of being on TRT? No, I've never noticed any penile growth. I did notice that my testicles got a bit smaller though. I wish I had some penile growth. That would be useful these days. Okay, where are we? Rasmus says, you mentioned habits and brushing teeth. Maybe I'm absolutely weird, but during worst days when I was suicidal, I couldn't even brush my teeth. Even that habit was killed. No, see, if we're talking about suicidality, clinical depression, treatment-resistant depression, major mental health issues, then no, I'm not referring to habits in that capacity. I could barely get out of bed when I was suicidal. There were days where my big accomplishment was showering. I have this vivid memory of laying in bed till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Didn't want to eat, was thinking about death every single second of every single day. What a terrible place to live and be. And then I sat in the shower crying and just let the water hit me, and I put some soap on my body and lathered up, and then I crawled back in bed. And you know what? That was a good day because I didn't kill myself that day, and I took care of myself that day in the way that I thought I could. Chad Allen, hey, you changed your picture. What up, homie? Thank you for your support, Chad. You sent me an email, didn't you, about a business opportunity? I will go check that as soon as this stream is done. I know you sent it to me. It was a long one, and I haven't read it yet. My question is, how fat has that wallet getting from OnlyFans? So I'm going to make a video about this, but because you are like the guy. Chad is the GOAT on this channel as far as supporters go. He's spent a small fortune supporting me. It's kind of wild. So I'm going to get on my OnlyFans account, Chad, and I'm going to tell you how much I made in my first 3 days. How about that? My first week. I'll tell you how much I made in my first week. So I made $1,500 in my first week on OnlyFans. I'm not going to tell you how much I've made since, but I made $1,500. People are really generous to me there. That's for sure. You're funny, bro. I'll tell you more details in an email. And I hope you're having a good day. I love that you can finally see your picture. That's a beard, by the way. Looking choice. Looking good. That's sick. That dude makes me happy. Where are we? Let me catch back up and figure out where we were. Okay. ThinkWise says, is there HGH replacement? Probably. I'm assuming so. I've never looked into it personally, but I'm assuming so. Emily Berry says, please bring back Big Bro, Little Bro, Know Best. Oh my God, I gotta take a picture of that. That's gonna make Little Bro really happy. I don't think that's ever coming back, but that was a fun little experiment, and that helped me through a lot of my depression. That's funny. Gabriel Zamora says, "What's up, Noah? You helped me out a great deal. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being kind. Appreciate you too. I hope you're having a good day." Jay Newman says, "Hi, Noah. You mentioned in a previous video that you got really fat when you started TRT. I did. I'm just about to start, and I'm worried that this might happen to me as well. What caused you to get fat?" Well, one, I mean, it's not a requirement that you gain weight. Just for me, I didn't have a lot of appetite when I first started TRT, or excuse me, prior to starting TRT, I didn't have a lot of appetite. I had very low energy, a lot of the normal stuff you might imagine go with low T. So when I first started, I got energy back and my appetite just went through the roof, and I started exercising. But at that time, I had no sense of how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, why to eat. I wasn't doing a good job at managing my stress, my sleep, even my thoughts. I wasn't very mindful. So I just got lost in a lot of impulse. I got lost in a lot of pleasure seeking. And for me at that time, given where I was mentally, food just made a lot of sense. So I ate a lot to feel good, and I blew up. So just be mindful of those things. Rasmus says, German volume method is 10 sets of 10 with minimal rest. Yeah, do it. I'm one of those people that thinks everyone should try everything. So I've never done that, but I think it sounds fun. And I suppose I try it in certain ways with CrossFit because we're always doing different stuff. But yeah, that's good. I like that. Kevin Hostetler says, how do you recommend starting the process to quit drinking alcohol? Even you asking me that question, you're starting the process. I think it's something you should talk about. You should explore. You should read about. You should look into and investigate without any fear or stress that you have to do or not do anything. So I think you start the process by simply starting the process. Go to a meeting, talk to a friend about it, see what he thinks. Do some journaling. Ask yourself why you drink, why you think you drink, why you might not imagine life without it. Test those thoughts. Are they true? Can you be sure? Did I already mention this? Go see a drug and alcohol counselor, even once, and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Read books like Sober Curious, listen to podcasts. I think you just start the process by taking off the expectation and pressure of anything. You can always look into this stuff. You can always experiment with sobriety and then decide you prefer your drinking life, the good and the bad. Or at least maybe you think you do, and that's okay too. So yeah, that's what I think. Janice Lauren says, you have motivated me to clean my house and do laundry. Good. Have a great day, Noah. Thank you, Janice. Have a great day as well. Let's see here. Has anyone, from FPZ 2021, has anyone taken antidepressants? I'm scared in case I can't get off, but I know they can help. Any help, please? So I have taken antidepressants. There was a time when they thought I should try. I'm one of those people that thinks that if you and your doctor have tried the natural ways or some quote-unquote non-pharma ways to feel better, then it's an option. Just make sure you understand risks and potential benefits. Yeah, get information, talk to people. I think it's a worthy thing to check your hormone profile. I'll always talk about that. I'll repeat that to the end of time. Make sure you don't have something like that might be addressed, which is addressing more of a natural part of your physiology as opposed to introducing something that's pharmaceutical. But I do know some people that have had tremendous success on them, and I know some people that have remained on them their whole lives, and they're doing well. So it's very individual. So be gentle with yourself. Brandon from KC says, well, have a good day. You too, boss. Wellington S says, you have been through... hold on one second here. Wellington S says, you have been through hard moments. I support you. Just you can make the best decisions for your life. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Hope you're having a good day. Sestrament horrible. TRT reduces the size of the testicles. It does, right? So when your body isn't producing testosterone naturally, your testicles just get the signal that they don't need to work so hard. So I went from having, frankly, very, very big balls to now just, I would say, normal size balls, maybe a little below average, because they don't have to work anymore and they haven't for a long time. Roshit Sharma says, can I take TRT? My testosterone is 158 nmol. I'm not sure. Nanograms per deciliter is the unit of measurement I'm familiar with. But talk to your doctor, get second opinions, research and investigate, right? Gustav Larson is just making a cry face. I'm sorry to hear that. Chad Allen says, that's awesome, brother. You deserve it all. Thanks, dude. You're awesome. Emily Berry says, no, LOL. That channel was so funny. Arjun says, man, big fan, bro. Bro, I'm getting diagnosed. Please tell me if testosterone 250 is good testosterone. I'm not sure about testosterone. I don't know anything about it, but good for you for looking into your wellness. Get lots of information, get feedback from people, talk, and then talk about it some more. And I hope it goes well for you. Shanmukh Srinivas says, did you get any positive results after HCG? Guys, I've never done HCG. I just almost did HCG a couple times. Talk about my PTSD being an issue. The idea of pitting myself with something I've never taken before scares me more than you guys know. The Mental Ninja says, yo, Noah, did you check out my video I did in support of you? I did not. I didn't know there was a video that anyone did in support of me. Let's see. So if I type in the Mental Ninja, would I find you? Hopping on a different browser real quick, although I probably shouldn't put my phone through this. Yeah, let me get out of that. Uh-oh. Did I just blow up my stream? So let's see here. The Mental Ninja. Oh my goodness. Bignoknow, Noah Thomas, a peer review and my thoughts. I'll check it out, boss. So I'm assuming this is you right here. Yeah, as long as I don't wander into a video where you're trashing me, which I don't think you are. As long as it's respectful, I'll definitely check it out. I'll be curious to know what you have to say. Let's see here. You said in support of me. I suppose I should take your word for it. I have to be careful with what I ingest when it comes to people's opinions about me on here, and I'm sure you can understand. Nina B says, I'm going to start doing videos on my depression, agoraphobia, and suicidal attempts. Any suggestions on how to talk to the camera? Yes, I have a lot of suggestions about how to talk to the camera, but I'll focus on one. When I started making videos, and I think I still try to do this in general, whenever you're making a video, particularly about something serious, something painful, something sad, something that is hard and not frivolous content, entertainment content, I think it's important to be mindful of your motivation. So if your intentions are just to express yourself, then just do that. But if you're trying to help someone in particular, I think it's good to remember that you're not talking to a lot of people, you're talking to one person. So when I make a video, let's say on depression, or if I make a video on mental health, I imagine you, the viewer, are the only one watching, and that perhaps you're someone that could really, really benefit from hearing what I have to say. And if I can kind of come at it from a place of leadership or a place of mindfulness, at least, that something I say could positively impact someone, and so not to be afraid, but to share courageously, there's a better chance that you'll convey what you're trying to convey without needing someone else's approval, without having expectations of who might be watching. So know who your audience is and understand that not everyone will fit that criteria, but someone will. And if you're speaking to that someone, such as perhaps yourself when you weren't doing well, then you can speak more authentically, you can speak more caringly, and you can probably be more effective. Shamukh Srinivas says, kudos to your willpower. Thanks. Kevin Hostetler says, did you ever find yourself getting into trouble or having health issues back when you used to drink? Absolutely. I mean, getting into trouble was like all I got myself into as a drinker. Tons of trouble. Mental trouble, emotional trouble, physical trouble, health anxiety, risky behavior. Alcohol was all trouble for me. And my attitudes were all trouble for me. Chad Allen says, just sent you another email with a full-size version of my new pic so you can see Chad Isle in all his glory. I'm about to go open that right now. I'm about to wait for a split second. You are my guy. Dude! That is... Do you have a face tattoo? Bro. Do you have neck tattoos also? Look at my man, Chad. Look at this goat. He is the absolute goat. Do you really have a snake tattoo on your eye? I love the nose ring, by the way. I've always wanted the confidence to rock a nose ring, but my brain's like, bro, you have too big of a nose. I can't put more emphasis on this schnoz that God gave me. I love it, Chad. It's dope. The Mental Ninja says, yep, yeah, that's me. Cool. And Roshit Sharma says, I love the dangling ear, by the way, Mental Ninja, if that's you. I think that's pretty sick. Another power move right there. Yeah, it looks dope. Oh, it's a Snapchat filter. Okay. That's sick. I like it. Roshit says, can vegan diet make strong body? I think a well-balanced, thoughtful vegan diet can definitely make a strong body. I know some vegans who understand what potential nutrient deficiencies they have to contend with, and they do a great job with it, and they just take supplements to work around it. Get fish oil or a DHEA, from like krill. I think they take supplements to make sure they're getting all their essential amino acids and non-essential too. Probably a few other things I'm missing, but yeah, I think in today's day and age, with enough effort and consistency and thoughtfulness, anyone can make that diet work for sure. Vagabond says, put a diamond in left side of nose for maximum swag. Dude, that'd be so sick if I had the confidence to throw a stud in my nose. Oh, I just don't know if I can do it, but I really want to. Like that just sounds goaty. Hey, I'm all about just living free, doing what makes me happy, breaking out of what I think I can and can't do for who or whatever. Like, I like it. Maybe I'll just say F it and go do it. I love it. The Mental Ninja says, how's sobriety treating you? Do you hit meetings, and if so, AA or NA? Sobriety is treating me really well. I hit 12-step meetings. I hit AA. AA is what I hit for sure. Yesterday I went to a morning men's meeting with my sponsor. I'm trying to hit 3 or 4 a week, a couple on Zoom, trying to get 1 in person. I love podcasts. I think my spontaneous behavior 3 or 4 weeks ago and starting my OnlyFans, and how I fell into a little bit of addict behavior as far as getting sneaky and starting to minimize and lie, it gave me the opportunity to quickly catch it, reflect, and remember what's important. And refocus. So sobriety is going good. Are you a fellow sobriety brother? Just curious. Thank you for asking. Great question. Legend M says, so what is your main cause of low testosterone? I am new. Yeah, that was always like one of the big questions. Was it anxiety and depression? Was it alcoholism that I've been facing, or stress? Was it poor sleep? I was diagnosed with low T after having been in a treatment-resistant depression from a paradoxical reaction to a medication known as VIVITROL. So was it that? Was it all the antidepressants, antipsychotics, and mood stabilizers I was on? I just don't know. What I do know is that when they found out I had really low T, I was in a deeply suicidal space. I'd been in a very dangerous space for so long that we thought it was in my best interest not to take a moment longer as far as trying to figure out why, and just do something that we could tangibly control, which was treat. And I think that was the right decision for my situation. Kevin says, how long have you been sober? Do you still get alcohol cravings? I have been sober coming up on 10 months in a few days here. So 9 months and like 27 days. And I had no physical cravings any longer. I did have a mental craving just yesterday. Got some really sad news. Really sad news. The most sad news you can get. And I thought about it for a second. I think that there's still a knee-jerk reaction sometimes when I'm uncomfortable or when I don't like my thoughts or my feelings to escape them. But that was the first time that had even happened since I've been sober. Lee Steele says, I have suffered from general anxiety and social anxiety, still learning how to get my mind in a better place when it comes on. I think awareness is just really huge. I think it gets better with time and practice and just constant reflection and awareness as to what's causing the anxiety. Is it true? Breathing really helps, right? Formal breath work, trying to regulate and let your physical body temper down the emotional, mental body, let it influence it. It'll get better. Good for you. Nina B says, when you started your body transformation journey, what workouts did you start off with? I started off with a lot of classic journeys, or a lot of classic movements. I was really into compound lifts. I love deadlifting and bench pressing and shoulder pressing and squatting, things like that. Sort of getting familiar with the big the big movements, and then sort of branching off into fun stuff from there. Jeremy T says, hey, wondered what caused the weight gain in the first 2 months on TRT. How did you remedy it? I'm experiencing many of the same things on my own journey. Thanks so much. What caused the weight gain for me, as I said earlier, depending on when you popped in to join us, Jeremy, is that before I was diagnosed, before I started treating my low T, I had no appetite, I had no energy, I was really, really down, depressed, and anxious. When I got my TRT program started, my energy went up, my ability to experience pleasure increased, period, right? My brain was starting to come back online, and so my appetite increased. And without proper tools or preparedness or mindfulness about eating habits, sleeping habits, training frequency, recovery protocols, things like that, things that I'm a lot more in tune with now and a lot more mindful of, I just binge ate too often. I started pleasure seeking once my brain started to heal on TRT. So I just behaved in a way that made it impossible not to gain weight. And then I was able to temper that down, learn more about diet, about training, about fasting, about mental health, about anxiety relief, about stress management, sleep, all the things that when you put it together over a consistent period of time can lead to having a better physique as well as mental health. Legend M says, okay, how are your other hormones, like thyroid, for example? Thyroid is right on point. I do take a low dose T4. Thyroid is great. Other hormones, other than of course like my LH and FSH, are different. They're bottomed out because of the TRT, but otherwise I'm good. Hormones look great. Glenn Harley says, your subscriber number seems stable, so I guess the OnlyFans effects has not been too negative. Yeah, I've had, I think, 400 people unsubscribe since I started the OnlyFans. I respect that decision. I want people to be here that want to be here. I don't take it personal. I'm trying really hard not to personalize if people don't want to hear about that stuff. That's well within their rights, and I understand. We'll see, though. It's something I want to continue to explore with you guys because I'm committed to just sharing my life as is, so we'll see. I hope it doesn't crash my whole entire channel, that's for sure. But I'd rather see this baby go down in flames knowing that I was just being real with you guys about everything and I wasn't picking and choosing how to share my life. That to me just makes more sense. I think I can sleep better at night with that. The Mental Ninja says 4.5 years AA, but I also did extracurricular activities. I'm really active in the program here in Vegas, sponsoring guys, detox panels. I'm a speaker picker for my home group, and your GSR. You're super involved. Good for you. 4.5 years is a big deal. I look up to that, and I think that's really cool. And in Vegas, no less. So yeah, I look forward to sponsoring guys. I think my sponsor, who I just met with yesterday, was reminding me how powerful that is for stabilizing recovery, is making sure you're being of service to others. Kevin Hostetler says, does sobriety get easier the longer you are into it? So far this year, I've had a few months of stretches clean, but I always seem to relapse after a month. Look, my experience with sobriety has very much come to do with trauma work, self-awareness, being connected to people in recovery, and then constantly being involved in recovery. So I don't think sobriety gets easier necessarily if you just try to go it alone. I think for me, when I've isolated, when I've not done the things that were suggested to me, when I've not fully involved myself with the recovery community and made peace with the fact that I have a disease, I believe addiction is a disease. So I think when I've come to terms with the reality of my situation and I've embraced it and I've leaned into it, it's been better for me. So I think life just gets different. I think life sober and in recovery is a lot more interesting and fun and fulfilling, but it still gets hard sometimes. So managing expectations and really learning a lot about addiction helped me. But I really appreciate you being honest. Prior to this stretch, yeah, it's been very hard to stay sober. So I'm really grateful to be sober today. Glenn Harley says, would you be happy to continue your channel if the subscriber numbers did not grow significantly? I would. Look, that's the thing. This channel, I love this channel, but we haven't been growing very fast for a really long time. And I think that's also part of what's prompted me to be more courageous about what I post and try new things and not be afraid anymore. Because, yeah, I think I'd be okay with it not growing significantly if I was okay with being myself on this channel. The Mental Ninja says, AA fucking saved my life. Yeah, man. Amen. Amen to that. Gloria Young says, Noah, do you have an exercise class on YouTube? I do not. That's an interesting thought. An exercise class on YouTube. I am a CrossFit coach. I certainly can run a class, but I've never considered doing that here. Lee Steele says, things like phoning people, meeting new people, traveling to places, public transports, things like that trigger my anxiety. Absolutely. And that's okay. It's okay that they trigger your anxiety, and it doesn't mean that they will always trigger your anxiety. What this reminds me of is when I started first learning how to confront people in a healthy way. So when I was learning how to express boundaries to people, or tell people what I wanted, or let people know what I was and was not comfortable with, I would have this crazy hormonal response. I would freak out internally. Cortisol would dump, adrenaline would dump, my head would get hot and pressury, and I couldn't do a simple thing like letting someone know that I didn't want to go somewhere, or I didn't feel comfortable with something they said. You know, anything to avoid confrontation, anything to avoid someone not liking me. A deep, deep fear of being abandoned, right? And the more I practiced, the easier it was, the more secure I've become. Not perfect, but it takes practice. And I imagine, I imagine a lot of the things you're talking about just come with practice too. Rasmus A says, any experience with bupropion, aka Wellbutrin? I tried Wellbutrin. Thank you for clarifying the generic versus the brand name. I wouldn't have known what bupropion was, but Wellbutrin I did try for a short time back in 2012 when they were putting me on a slew of different medications, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So I know it can be helpful for some people. I know some people that have been on it for a long time. I just haven't been on it in a long time. The Mental Ninja says, what's your sobriety date, bro? Because when you get a year, I'm going to send you one of my 1 year chips. That's sick. My sobriety date is October 5th. October 5th. And it's a nice sentiment. I appreciate it. John Money says, do you think if you switched to smoking weed over drinking, it would be a healthier life choice? No, I don't think any mood-altering substance is a healthier life choice for me as someone with addiction issues, the disease of addiction. So definitely not. I think it would just be same old shit, different day. Jeremy T, that's awesome. Thanks for the answer. I feel like I want to eat everything in sight. I hear you. I think following along with your videos has helped me pull me from the dark times myself. Much appreciated. Good. I'm glad to know that. And yeah, you're not alone, man. Starting TRT, it can be a hunger-producing experience. Angela Beaton says, hi Noah, no question right now, but just want to say that you've helped in my depression healing journey. Thank you. Watching from Toronto. God bless you. God bless you too. And I hope you're doing well today, and thank you for that. Greg Discott says, hey Noah, what's up, Greg? Shamuk Srinivas says, hi Noah, why are you not taking HCG? It's something that I would like to be taking. I think, to be honest, the biggest reason I haven't taken it was, one, it was never introduced to me until way later in my TRT, and two, I've got PTSD issues with taking new medications based on what happened to me with the VIVITROL. And so I'm overly cautious and unreasonably cautious, I'd say. Kevin Hostetler says, what is your opinion on using magic mushrooms for treatment of depression, anxiety, and addiction? So I know that this can be a very real thing for some people. I've even filmed a lecture from a really, really impressive naturopathic doctor who's deeply invested in the research with this stuff. I know it can be really good for trauma and PTSD. I also know that it's something that has to be done carefully, and it's not something I'm personally comfortable doing. But I have my own reasons for that, and I think that it's something worth exploring for different people in the right settings for the right reasons. We have a super chat from Nina B. Thank you for the super chat, guys. If you ever want to just tip the channel, tip me, or just get my attention immediately and make sure I answer your question next, you can use a super chat function. It's a great way to support the channel, and I appreciate it. Nina says, I have bad anxiety when talking to the camera, which has held me back from making videos about mental health, etc. Suggestions? Yeah, my suggestion is to make a video saying just that. Tell people exactly what's going on. So you're really scared. You don't know if you're going to come off right. I think vulnerability typically lends itself well to connecting with others, and it certainly can improve your sense of wellness to know that you're living for you and you're not afraid. But I think it's normal to be afraid. And it's scary to be online. And I've been online for a long time, and it can still be scary sometimes. But I think it's important to be brave. I think it's important to remember who you're trying to talk to. And if you're trying to talk to you from yesterday or yesteryear, then just focus on that person who might really, really need to hear what you have to say. and speak bravely and honestly and openly to that one person. And then another thing you can do, which is often I haven't really thought about sharing, which is something I have to do, is set boundaries around your YouTube experience or your social media experience. So for me right now, I'm not really going through comments anymore because I've noticed that it can be kind of hard on my head and a little bit difficult for my feelings to read negative words about me from people that aren't in my inner circle. So I set some boundaries that way to make sure that my mental health stays okay and that I don't get wrapped up in things that aren't going to serve me. And maybe that could be helpful for you too. Thank you for your super chat. Sean and Tunes says, I watch a bunch of your videos, and for almost a month on TRT now, I feel amazing. Good. The information you provided has helped me level up. Thank you, man. I'm really glad to know that. You're welcome. Glenn says, thumbs up. Thumbs up, Glenn. John Money says, gotcha. Amen, brother. Vagabond says, I'm addicted to bad behavior. That's why I always got to keep composed and peaceful. Been real intense in the past. I can relate to the addiction issues. Trust me, I have a tendency to go towards bad behaviors too. I also have a lot of good behaviors in my system. Rasmus A says, lithium said to be the strongest anti-suicidal medication, but done nothing. I became more suicidal, if anything. Hopefully Wellbutrin will be different. I'll be hoping that for you as well. Man, finding the right tool, the right medication, or the right therapist, or the right whatever, it's just such a frustrating process. But it's a worthy endeavor, and I'll be rooting for you. Mehdi Botayev says, hello from Morocco. Wow. Your videos were very helpful for me to get out of depression and get back in shape, so thank you. Good. I'm really happy to hear that. And thank you for checking in from Morocco. That's crazy. Rocky Sink Candler says, do you think ADHD is real, contrary to many believing that it doesn't exist? Yeah, I think it is real, but it's not something I've deeply researched. I don't know what the peer-reviewed literature says. I just think it's real based on anecdotes and medical professionals and professionals in the field that I trust. Now, have I heard, and do I wonder if it's not overly diagnosed or overly, it's one of those conditions that medications are too quickly prescribed? Sure, but it's just well outside of my wheelhouse to be able to comment in any sort of thoughtful way. Rocky Sinkander says, don't feel like doing the thing I'm supposed to do or want to do for long-term gains. What to do? Do the easiest possible thing. Do the smallest possible thing as consistently as you possibly can to get you towards your results. Start there. Get used to building that habit. Stack tiny little habits that move the needle, that 1% rule, and it'll slowly get better. None of us are going to wake up tomorrow ready to be a completely different person. It just doesn't typically work that way. So what we can do, I think, is just do small little things to move the needle. Gloria Young said, I had a bad trip on magic mushrooms and a lot good trip when I was young. I quit when I had the bad trip. Yeah, I've heard there can be some bad trips. That's certainly something that kind of scares me about it. Bounty Hunter says, today, for the first time, I had a crippling anxiety attack for 7 hours when I was in real mental pain. I am really sorry to hear that. That sucks. That really sucks. Thank you for sharing. You're certainly not alone. Michaela O'Connor says, hi from Ireland. Yeah! Hello and welcome. Glad you're here. Super Silver J says, any tips for finding your next path in life? I feel like I don't know what to pursue in my life at the moment. Man, tips for finding your next path. I'd say experiment. Dabble in different things. Start learning about different things. Try reading different books. Try volunteering for some different things. Maybe commit to signing up for partaking in different things. I think give yourself the grace and the time to peacefully look into different avenues of life without this fear that you need to commit or that it won't be what you thought it was going to be. I think just exploring is important. Talk to more people. Get more perspectives. Talk that question to death. Bounty Hunter said, it stopped me doing something incredibly important and once in a year event. Oh, really disappointed now, struggling with it all. I can imagine that would be really frustrating and very annoying. I hear you. Death Shaker 00 says, beautiful words you have said are, don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Yeah, and that's just something I heard from someone else, and I do think it's very, very important. David M says 9 months sober. Thank you for your videos, brother. Hey, we're both in that 9-month range. Congratulations. Good for you. It's a big deal, and you're welcome. Ole Dodd Sonido says, what's your opinion on HOCD? I'm not sure I know what HOCD is. Let's see. What is HOCD? Obsessive compulsive disorder. I think it's real, and I think it's something that deserves your attention, your time, and your effort. I think I've struggled with obsession. I think I have to be really mindful of thought spirals. I think reality testing is good, trauma work is good, mindfulness is good, exercise is good, breathing is good. I think it's real. And I encourage you to get help if you think you need help with that. Rocky Seekander says, is it possible to build a decent muscular body at home? What setup is needed, like dumbbells, bench press, etc.? Can vegetarians do it, or you have to have chicken in your diet? Yeah, I think all of us can maximize our genetics and our situation just fine. I don't think you need anything, by the way. I think body weight through push-ups, through squats, through different pressing movements, through lunges, through jumping, through pull-ups or pulling. I think you can build muscle and tone your body pretty effectively just with your body weight. I do think that something to be mindful of is how much you're sleeping, how much you're eating, if you're getting enough protein, if you have any hormone imbalances or thyroid issues. I mean, there are things to look at and work through, but I do think it's more of where there's a will, there's a way. It's working with what you have, trying to eliminate as many excuses or faulty belief systems about what you can and can't do, and then just start the journey. Kevin Hostetler says, did you have any recommendations on how to cope with severe anxiety naturally? Sure. I think L-theanine is a great supplement. I think vitamin D with K2 is great. I think prayer and meditation and journaling is really important. I think gratitude lists are really effective. I think having healthy social interactions as much as possible. I think finding ways to be of service and useful to other people to get you outside of yourself is good. I think Epsom salt baths can be really good. Exercise is really good. Time in the sun and grounding is really good. Being mindful of the media you ingest, the time you go to sleep. There's so many things you can do naturally. It's more just about getting familiar and consistent with the things that you're going to do first and foremost and that are most effective. Greg says, looking good, man. Thank you. Jess Jewel says, Sunday blessings back to you. Rangan Talukder says, hi from Bangladesh. Wow. Hey back, man. Good to see you. Just Jules says, FPZ 2021, I have for 10 years, just feel so much better. Good. Super Silver J says, do you believe that being able to clean your room correlates with mental health? I think the messier my room is, the messier my mind is. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people. There's a lot of research, and I've gotten a lot of professional encouragement to keep my room clean, keep my laundry done, keep my body kept, keep my hygiene up, keep my kitchen in order, and that a messy environment absolutely can reflect a messy internal environment, and they can affect each other inversely, right? So I think there's a lot of realness to that, a lot of truth to it. Gloria Young says, forgiveness and giving brings happiness and joy. Yes, it really, really does. Thank you for sharing that. Rocky Sikander says, you are so positive. You made my day. Please keep it up. Lots of love and respect from India. Wow. Your words, where there's will, there's a way, was awesome. Good. What a nice thing for you to share. Man, I had some stress, you guys, doing these live streams after I stopped for a couple weeks, and then I started the OnlyFans thing, and then on those videos, some people were pretty aggressive and harsh, and I was like, man, I hope I didn't just create a situation where, like, live streams are going to be hostile, and we can't just kick it as people, you know? So I appreciate it. This has been fun. I think I'll probably wrap this up in 12 minutes. We'll wrap this up at the hour 30 marker. So thank you guys for spending some time with me. This has been fun. Kevin says, how many years did it take you to develop your physique to the level it is now? What is your exercise routine like? I think it took all the years it took, right? It took me figuring out how to hormone imbalance. It took me overeating and overtraining and under resting. It took like 9 years, honestly. It took a really long time. And to really dial it in, it's taken a lot of internal work and trial and error and mistakes. So I do CrossFit. I train CrossFit very aggressively and seriously 5 to 6 days a week. That is my preferred social and mental and physical wellness modality. I think it really hits a lot of, it checks off a lot of my boxes. It's really effective for me. So yeah, that's what I do there. And then I just keep learning about myself. I keep trying new things. And I still, to this day, think the most powerful thing I ever learned how to do as far as managing weight, preserving muscle, even as a man on TRT, was learning how to fast. Really, really learning how to fast and why it's important. So that answers your question, Pony Girl. Do I fast? I do. I'm fasting right now, and I intend to fast until tomorrow, for example. Crest says, wow, I haven't seen your channel since 2018, 2019 when I was in a mental prison. Hell, you really were one of the things that helped me get through it, so thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. Gloria Young says, thank you for sharing, Noah. You're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you, Gloria. Jennifer says, your complexion looks so healthy. All the fasting, healthy eating, working out is really showing. Thank you. It's nice of you to say. Feel good. Rocky Sikander, that name is really messing me up. It's 12 a.m. midnight here, and I'm still watching you. That is how great you are to me and how positive you affect me. We are forever grateful for you. Lots of blessings and prayers for you. That's really cool of you to say. You guys have been a positive part of my day today, that's for sure. And I encourage you to get some sleep if you're tired. I think you have proved your kindness to me. Kevin says, how did you learn to work out? Did a friend help you, or did you get a personal trainer? I just started. Going on a walk? Okay, have a good walk. If you want to wait 8 minutes, I'll go with you, but otherwise have a good walk, okay? I would go with you in 8 minutes. I'm wrapping up in 8 minutes. Yep, sounds good. Sorry for yelling, you guys. How did you learn to work out? Yeah, researching online, getting together with friends, following routines I saw on YouTube. Joining a CrossFit gym was really helpful because you have instructors and coaches that are helping, and they give you programming, they teach you how to move. But basically just starting the journey in general. And then you just slowly learn from there. And then I went and got certified and started becoming a coach myself. Let's see. And I got a personal trainer at one point. Greg Descan says, gotta go now. Good to see and talk to you. Good to be seen. It was good to talk with you as well. Crest says, what do you think is something that helps you a lot that may seem like something small in general? That's a great question. Small in general, that's been really powerful for me. I don't take my phone into my bedroom anymore. I stopped doing that, and I leave it downstairs, I plug it in, and I bought a digital alarm clock, old school. And that has been really, really powerful for me. No matter what, I do not take my phone into my bedroom. It stays downstairs. Game changer for my sleep, my mental calm, my clarity at night, like connecting with myself and detaching from that social world online. I'd say that's been a really big one. Just Jules says, I found out last Thursday that I might have breast cancer. Prayers and positive vibes appreciated. Meeting with the surgeon on August 12th. Oh, Jules. Praying for you right now. And I'll be thinking about your wellness. Stay brave. Get so much support. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. It's awful. But I think it can be okay. And find women that have been through this. A dear friend of mine just had surgery for this and is doing very well. And she said that having the support of her peers and people that have had similar experiences has been a game changer. So just get all the support you deserve, okay? And thank you for being brave enough to share that. Rocky says, okay, well, sleep now. Have a great day to you and all the viewers who are part of our positive tribe. It's awesome. Good night. Another super chat just came in. Thank you for that. I appreciate you supporting the channel in that way. And it's from Oidod Sonido. Says, thank you for posting your videos, man. I've been following for a while. Love your honesty and has really motivated me, and I've learned a lot. So thank you. That's really nice of you. You're just being kind right there. And I appreciate you taking the time to share that and support the channel. And I hope you're being good to yourself today. Rocky says bye-bye. Jay Wells says, is CrossFit friendly for beginners? It always looks like experts in there. No, that's a big misnomer about CrossFit. CrossFit is definitely more for beginners. CrossFit is for the everyday person, the person who's out of shape, the person who's overweight, the person who's coming back from injury, the person who's older. The one percenters, the really, really good athletes, they're the minority, and they're not the most important people in the gym. They matter as people, but they're not the most important people in the gym. The most important and the most typical person in the gym is just the everyday person looking to get better, looking to be healthy, looking to connect with people, looking to learn how to take better care of themselves. So our gym has everything from teenagers to 80-year-olds. Everyone is welcome. You can always find something that works for you. Everything is curated to your abilities and your comfort zones. A lot of people just think otherwise, and it's just not true. But you have to find the right gym. But most gyms are so friendly. Gloria Young says, a walk is a good idea. Yes, I'm going to go catch my wife here in just a second after I say bye to you guys. John M says, with all the working out, how do you deal with joint pain? I just do a lot of prehab, rehab, body work, recovery. So I'm constantly foam rolling. I am constantly doing compression and wrapping. I'm constantly stretching, eating to recover, things like that. I just try to take really, really good care of myself, and my body before and after exercise consistently. Death Shaker 00 says, the hardest lesson for me was to love myself. It is a really tough lesson. It's a lesson I continue to practice. I think a lot of us struggle with that. It's not just thinking it, but expressing it, right? And living in a way that's in accordance with that love. Crest says, gonna give it a shot. Thank you. Prayers to Jules. Good. Thank you. Rocky says, good. You guys are just Jules. John M, great question. I would think joint pain would be part of working out. Just Jules says, thank you for the prayers, y'all. I'm hanging in there and trying to stay positive. Good for you. Gainzo X Store says, can you talk about the gluten-free anxiety and depression? Can you talk about the gluten-free and anxiety and depression, please? I don't know a whole lot about that. I know that for some people, gluten can be inflammatory. I know inflammation can lead to mental health issues. I personally eat gluten. I don't think I'm your best resource for this, but I think it's something that if you want to experiment with, you should. If you want to get food sensitivities to help you determine if you are gluten sensitive, you should. I think it's a good idea. Gloria Young says, prayers for Jules. You have lots of prayers. Ryan Garbett says, so small. Hope you're good, brother. I am good. Yeah, I am good. And I think I'm going to leave it there, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thank you for spending some time with me on this live stream. This was a nice part of my day. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. And we'll see you guys in the next video. And just know that you are appreciated and you are wanted here. And thank you for treating me with respect today and being kind. That means a lot. It means everything to me, actually. All right, guys. Adios.